Hello friends, good evening. Myself Sumati, welcome to my channel Edutainment. Hope you all are good in this situation. Okay. Friends, previously we have already discussed about constructivist approach, and in that previous video I have already discussed with you regarding what is the meaning of constructivism and what is the meaning of constructivist by Piaget, Jean Piaget. Today I am going to share with you some approaches, constructivist approaches, and I have already told you in these approaches we will discuss about peer learning, self-learning, collaborative learning, cooperative learning, 5P model and icon model. Today in this video I am going to discuss with you two things, two approaches, that is self-learning and peer learning. Let's see. Point of discussion of today is our self-learning, peer learning definition, meaning, purposes, processes. So what is the meaning of self-learning approach? Friends, as you know, it is an approach and which coming under constructivism, and you know what is the meaning of constructivism. Meaning of constructivism or constructivism says that students can construct their own knowledge with the help of their past experience. Means here the role of teacher only guide them or direct them, not like teach them, or like it should be student centered. Okay, students should be active more. Okay, leave those. Self-learning approach, it is a constructive approach where the students with guidance of teachers decide what and how they will learn. It can be done individually or with group learning, but the overall concept is that students take ownership of their learning. Friends, this point says about self-learning approach is a constructivist approach where students with the guidance of teachers, means here teacher will guide the students and student will decide what and how they have to learn. It can be done individually or maybe group learning, because in group learning when we will discuss about collaborative and cooperative learning, then you can identify in group learning also there will be a self-learning. So it is self-learning is a constructive approach where teacher will guide the students about their learning. For example, a teacher may give a general learning goal such as to learning about triangle. Students would then work with the teacher to decide the scope of the topic, length of time and the end result that would demonstrate their learning. One student may decide to learn the properties of the triangle, another student may decide to learn types of triangle, etc. Friends, here I have given an example. For example, a teacher may be, suppose you are a mathematics teacher and you are going to give tasks to the students and you are planning to teach the students by using this self-learning approach. Here what will be the teacher's role? Teacher will, like as I before discussed, teacher's role will be guide. So here teacher will give a general learning goal. So teacher will give the concept, like today's topic is learning about the triangle. But teacher will not define, because triangle means it is a vast topic and inside the triangle you can get or you can divide it in subtopic. Like maybe any student can take types of triangle, maybe other student can take the properties of triangle, like angle sum is 180. So different kinds of properties, different kinds of triangle. Maybe one student will want to learn about only the right angle triangle. So we can divide the concept triangle into different kinds or different subtopics. So here role of teacher will be give the topic, like today's topic is triangle, but teacher will not say to the student regarding the subtopic. Student according to their interest can choose their subtopics. Hope you all are clear about this point. Example. Next, chalo. Components of self-learning. So friends, here some components of self-learning. Components means what are the things that are coming under the self-learning system or approach. Management and monitoring. First component of self-learning is management and monitoring. What happens here? With guidance of teachers, students define the learning goals they wish to accomplish as well as negotiate a time frame for completion. Friends, management and monitoring indicates that we have to manage and monitor our activities. So with the guidance of the teacher, here student will define the learning goals. Means suppose one student has taken one topic like properties of triangle. So here students, the role of student will be to define the goal. Okay, and second thing, framing the time, because time in any kind of study or any kind of we can say that learning approach, we have a limited time period. So here management, that time period will coming under management. Then once they are established, students identify their strengths and weaknesses as well as any obstacles to achieving their goals. Means during their study, suppose student have established or decided what the topic he or she has to take in. And after that, students' role will be to identify their strength and weakness. Means suppose student have taken the topic like properties of triangle. Then after that, the role of student will be, student have to find out or identify in that topic what will be the strength and weakness of the student. Maybe student strength have like different kind, maybe students have good knowledge regarding the different kinds of triangle. And by using this condition or this definition or knowledge, student can rectify or apply this in the form of its properties. Yes or no? So here role managing in monitoring, the role of student is to identify the strength and weakness first, then framing a time limitation, then define their learning goals. Next, here teacher takes the role as an advisor or supporter, while students manage their own learning process and monitor their own progress. Friends, here above 2 points are says about the student's role, but teacher's role, what will be the teacher's role? Here, in during the process, the teacher role will be as an advisor and supporter. Means teacher have to only advise to the student if they need in any situation or any concept, and the role of teacher will be supporter to support the students in their activity. Okay. Next component is assessing learning needs. In self-learning, it's more important to assess the learning needs. Here, students assess their needs as they progress through the learning process. They will need to find out what resources they need, either materials, help from the teacher, or a combination of both. Teachers will then provide support to help them obtain those resources. What happened here? Assessing learning needs means here students have to assess their own learning needs. Learning needs means whatever they need or whatever the need they are facing in the whole activities. So they have to assess those things. How they have to assess? Because before assessing, they have to first clear on that topic, like what they need actually. Like if someone is working on the proving the angle sum property, then maybe that student need any kind of material like pencil, eraser, scale, some kind of for drawing, picture, or if one wants to work in lab also, mathematics lab, any kind of material he or she need. So those things, whatever materials or resources, or we can say that teacher support also one kind of need here. Please keep in your mind that it is important. Teachers support and teachers advice also is one kind of need for the student. So during these activities, whatever they need in their activities, here they have to assess. The need may be any kind of material, may be any kind of resources, may be also teacher support or teacher's device. Okay. Collaboration. Third component will be collaboration. It is a very important part of the students' learning process in self-learning. Students collaborate with other students in their class, students in other grades, or even adults out in the community to gain knowledge and experience and reach their learning objectives. Friends, in collaboration, what happens? You have maybe a question will arise in your mind that collaboration only you can say that happens in group activities, but it's totally wrong, because in self-learning, when we can say that self-learning means it is a totally self-estimated, means self-awareness it provide. So here role of teacher and role of parent or peer, anything they can guide, they can support them. But in case of collaboration, students need any help from the, we can say that their peer or any person outside the classroom, any adult or any senior students, any kind of person you can say that. Here student may need in the work the help of others. So collaboration is one kind of more important points or components in the self learning, because sometimes students facing some problem in the activities, in completion of activities, and after getting the help from the seniors experience, it will become easy for them to understand that concept. So for that, collaboration need. Fourth component is self evaluation. Self evaluation, as this term indicates, that whatever students will learn, the role of students is, after learning, they have to evaluate or assess themselves or their learning. After students have gone through the process and have finished the assignment, students should reflect and evaluate their result. Students should get input from other students as well as the teacher to find areas that may need improvement. Means, suppose students have done their work, but after work is over, students have to reflect on that. Means, whatever the lacunas are there, whatever we can say that any fault is there, or for that reason student can get the, we can say, the advice from the others, or they can show their result to others for getting the reflection, okay, for the improvement of their knowledge. So friends, those four important points are the component of self learning, because during self learning approach those 4 points will come across, and the role of teacher is to focus on that, those 4 points. For example, self learning, the activities of self learning examples are individual project, case studies, etc. Means, teacher can provide individual project for developing the self learning, and teacher can provide a case studies also. So different kinds of self learning are there, self learning approaches are there. Not only teacher, parents also can assess the students during their study in home also. Peers can assess the self learning approach. Okay. Skill needed to an effective self learning. So what are those skills which are needed to an making self learning approach become more effective? Goal setting skills, processing skills, decision making skills, self awareness, content competence, other cognitive skills. Overall, if we will say that for self learning, last point says that other cognitive skills, means in self learning students are more active, they are engaged in their own learning, so their role is more, we can say that their role, students role is maximum in the learning process. For that, students have to think more, students have to use their cognitive skills more. And above 4-5 skills like goal setting skills, obviously self learning depends on only them. That's why they have to we can say identify their goals, they have to fix their learning goals, setting their goals. Then processing skills, means what will they have to do in the process. Decision making skills, means which point should be there, which formula should be there, which step they should be skip, or which theory they should be follow. So those kind of we can say there are soft things or soft steps we can add here in decision making skills. Then self awareness, because as it is a self learning, so students involve only themselves and they have to aware about their learning. Okay, they means they are going positively or negatively, so they have to aware about their learning. And content competency, because without content competency we can't force a student to learn new things, because as constructivism says that student can construct their own knowledge with the help of previous knowledge, past experience. Suppose students have no that much, we can say that, good past knowledge or past experience, so here student can't be able to form any new concept. Yes or no? So content competency is more important point. So these are some skills which are needed to make our self-learning approach as more effective. So advantages of self-learning. There are so many advantages of self-learning. I have only put some points you can add here. Not mandatory to write those things only. So let's see. First is, it allows learners to be more effective in their learning and social beings. Means self-learning process or approach allows to learners to be more effective in their learnings, because their own involvement is maximum. That's why it is become more effective. It enhances the ability to think and learn. Obviously, because teachers will help them, but thinking capacity should be built up by the student only. It develops the curiosity among the students. After solving any things or after getting any concept, students the curiosity level of the student will be developed. Next is it motivated develops self-discipline, self-confident and goal-oriented. As students will do on their own work themselves, so it helps them to develop different kinds of like self-discipline, self-confidence. Means after solving one problem, student can get self-confidence for solving next problem. It encourages students to develop their own rules and leadership patterns. It helps to view the problems as challenges, the desires to learn and enjoy the learning. It is more important point because in self-learning approach, what happens, students are facing different kinds of problems, but once if student will come out from that problem, then it will become a student will we can say that their self-confidence will be more, and they have to they will like to take as a problem as a challenges, and their learning style will be different from the others. And if any student is purely actively involved in the self-learning, then they will enjoy that learning. It helps to develop time management skills because every activity has some time, and within that time student have to do something. So for that reason, students develop their time management skill. They can adjust their work during that time. It promotes self-awareness, helps in decision making. It increases self-esteem. 3 points we have already discussed in the components also. So I hope you all are clear about those advantages. If any doubt, you can ask me. Disadvantages: some students are unable to engage them in self-learning because of lack of independence, confidence. See here what happens. For example, some students are there who don't like, if we will say about the learning style, we know that there are different kinds of learning styles, and we cannot change the learning style, because some students will like to would like to read, we can say that by seeing or video. Some student can like to read, we can say, by listening audio. So there are different kinds of learning styles. So for that reason, students, what happens here, some students are there, they don't like to read alone, they like to read, we can say, in group or by discussion. So we can say that their confidence or lack of independence also, because of those things, it may be difficult for them to engage in the activity. Possible for frequent error, and sometimes it misguides the student how to learn. As it depends on student only, so some students who are slow learner, or some students who have no clear idea about the concept, maybe they will get frequent error, and sometimes that error also misguides them, and they can't know how to learn or how to go forward. It needs to be combined with other methods for content to be fully learned. Yes, as I told in first point, some students need to learn by the discussion method in group. So if we will only focus on self learning, then sometimes we can get trouble. But if we will add this method with other methods for content to be fully learned, then it will be easy for the students to learn. It is quite time consuming. It lacks team spirit. Time consuming because students are doing themselves their work, so that they need some time for completing the work, and it lacks team spirit. Obviously here no team work, only self learning, so it lacks the team spirit. So friends, these are the about things that is self learning. So let's see what is the peer learning. Peer learning is one of the constructivist approach where students are paired together or making group to learn the academic skills and master content. Friends, what happens here in peer learning approach, teacher have to pair the students or make group, and after that students have to learn any concept or any skill. It is more useful in a diverse classroom for giving equal attention. It's a very crucial point, because in diverse classroom it is very much difficult for the teacher to give equal attention to students. But if teacher will apply this approach, that is peer learning, teacher will make group or pair, then it will be very easy for them, or for giving the attention to each student. It involves groups of learners working together to solve a problem, complete a task, or create a product. Means a group of students will be working together for solving any kind of problem or completing any task. It is based on the idea that learning is naturally social act in which participants talk among themselves. It is social, friends, because in the classroom there will be a discussion, group discussion or pair discussion. So social means what? Means society, means more than one person will be there and discussion will be there. So it is a social act, and from that discussion, it is not mandatory student will learn only content, student will learn different kinds of values also. That's why it is a, we can say, naturally social act in which participants talk among themselves. So some steps for peer learning, like first step will be choose an activity. Here role of teacher is first choosing an activity. Clarify purpose and aim. What is the purpose and aim of that activity? Making group, then teacher have to make the group. It may be randomly or it depends upon teacher, but there should not be bias in making group. Defining the role of group members, because as in a group, role of members means, because if 4 to 5 members will be there, then the role of teacher will be there. Like define the work means in a group there should be one person who will we can say that give update of that group working. What are the results they are finding? What are the discussion point? What are the problem they are facing? So like that, the role of teacher will be divide the group or divide the role of group members. Designing, monitoring. Next step is designing, monitoring. Then in group there will be design, how to they have to process, and monitoring. Then last step will be evaluation and reflection, means group have to share their work in between them, evaluate and reflect upon their work. So these are some steps. When you will be a teacher, then you can apply those steps in your peer learning approach. So some advantages: it helps students to develop a sense of responsibility, because as it is a teamwork. So, and I have already told about teacher role will be to divide the work, or the group members, one head will be there and he or she will divide the work. So individual work will be divided. So here the responsibility will be, sense of responsibility will be developed. Develop teamwork skill, no doubt, because it is a teamwork or group work. Develop collaborative skills, it is also no doubt, because in collaboration they have to work. Develop time management skills, obviously, because group will succeed if individual will succeed. So everyone have to focus on the time also. Next, encourages critical thinking. Yes, obviously any kind of activity if you are going to do, then your critical thinking or divergent thinking, you have to use it, you have to develop it. Next, disadvantages. Some disadvantages. First one is time consuming. Obviously time consuming, because in this process there are some different we can say sub process, like dividing groups, like dividing again defining the role of group members, again defining the goals and objectives. So for that only you have to, it have been taken some time. Maybe conflict developed. Obviously in a group there will be 4 to 5 members or more, but in that 4 to 5 members there should be a collaboration, otherwise it will create a conflict. If anyone will not understand about the other point or not agree with the other point of this point or view or idea, then a conflict may be arised. Difficult for introvert students. It is more important point, because in a group if there will be any introvert students, they don't like to share much more their ideas with others. So it will be difficult to, we can say that, assess those kinds of students in group study or peer learning. Problems for individual differences. Yes, as we know, class is an individual difference. So in individual difference we can get differences in different students, so it is very difficult to cope up with them. So these are advantages and disadvantages, and some examples, like what are those activities we can do in the classroom, like peer learning approach. For example, role playing, project work, etc. Yes, role playing, we can give a role and we can divide the role, like if we'll teach some subject like physical science, mathematics, any kind of history, geography, you can divide the role and you can act a play. Project work also, you can divide a project and make a group and defining the role of members also. Here you can do or apply this approach. Hope you people all are clear about the self learning and peer learning. I have discussed with you very, we can say that very shortly, because in one video I can't be able to share with you very clearly, or because it is a broad concept, so you can add so many points. My motto is only to make you understand about the concept, not like only, like if you will once understand the concept, then you can able to write down the points from yourself also, because you all are adult and you know what happens actually in real life situation like self learning and peer learning. So it's not that much difficult, it is very easy, but understanding is necessary. So I hope my video will help you in understanding those concepts. So if any question or any doubt you have, please raise your hand or question in chat box, or any concept you have doubt, then you can ask me. And all the best, and thank you for watching my video. Thank you so much.